Hello and welcome everyone. Myself Mijanur Rahaman and today my topic of discussion is glands of skin. Today we will discuss about the glands of skin like sebaceous gland, sweat gland, and in the sweat gland we will discuss about eccrine gland and apocrine glands. Now, glands of skin. Skin glands are of two types of gland, namely sebaceous gland and sweat gland. So first of all, sebaceous gland. Sebaceous glands are simple or branched alveolar glands situated on the dermis of the skin. So sebaceous glands are those glands which are simple or branched and they are alveolar glands and they are generally situated on the dermis layer of the skin. Now the structure of the sebaceous gland. Sebaceous glands are ovoid or spherical in shape and are situated at the side of the hair follicle. These glands develop from hair follicles, so the sebaceous glands are absent over the thick skin, which is devoid of hair follicle. Each gland is covered by a connective tissue capsule. The alveoli of the gland are lined by stratified epithelial cells. Sebaceous glands are open into the neck of the hair follicle through a duct. In some areas like faces, lips, nipple, glans penis, and labia minora, the sebaceous glands opens directly into the exterior. Secretion of the sebaceous gland like sebum. Sebaceous glands secrete an oily substance called sebum. Sebum is formed by the liquefaction of the alveolar cells and poured out through the ducts either via the hair follicle or directly into the exterior. Now, composition of the sebum. Sebum contains free fatty acids, triglycerides, squalene, sterols, wax, and paraffin. Now, function of the sebum. Free fatty acid contents of the sebum has antibacterial and antifungal actions. Thus, it prevents the infection of the skin by bacteria or fungi. Number 2. Lipid nature of the sebum keeps the skin smooth and oily. It protects the skin from unnecessary discoloration and injury caused by the dryness. Number 3. Lipids of the sebum prevent heat loss from the body. It is particularly useful in cold climate. Now, activation of the sebaceous glands at puberty. Sebaceous glands are inactive till puberty. At the time of the puberty, these glands are activated by the sex hormones in both case of males and females. At the time of puberty, particularly in males, due to the increased secretion of sex hormones, especially dihydroepiandrosterone, the sebaceous glands are stimulated suddenly. It leads to the development of acne on the face. What is acne? Acne is a localized inflammatory condition of the skin characterized by pimples on the face, chest, and back. It occurs because of overactivity of sebaceous gland. Acne vulgaris is the common type of acne that is developed during adolescence. Acne disappears within few years when the sebaceous glands become adapted to the sex hormones. Now, sweat glands. Sweat glands are generally of two types, eccrine gland and apocrine gland. What is eccrine gland? Eccrine glands are distributed throughout the body, but the apocrine glands are situated only in certain areas like axilla, pubis, areola, umbilicus, etc. So, first of all, we will discuss about the eccrine gland. Eccrine glands are distributed throughout the body, and there are many eccrine glands over thick skin structure. Eccrine sweat gland is a tubular coiled gland. It consists of two parts: a coiled portion like deeper in the dermis, which secretes the sweat, and a duct portion which passes through the dermis and epidermis. So, in case of eccrine sweat gland, there are two parts. One is coiled portion and one is duct portion. The coiled portion is lying deeper in dermis, which secretes the sweat, and the duct portion which passes through the dermis and epidermis. Now, eccrine sweat gland opens out through the sweat pore. The coiled portion is formed by a single layer of columnar or cuboidal epithelial cells, which are secretory in nature. Epithelial cells are interposted by the myoepithelial cells, and the myoepithelial cells support the secretory epithelial cells. Now, the duct of the eccrine gland is formed by two layers of cuboidal epithelial cells. Now, Eccrine glands and the secretory activity of the eccrine glands. Eccrine glands function throughout the life since birth. These glands secrete a clear watery sweat. The secretion increases during the increase in temperature and emotional condition. Eccrine gland plays a very important role in regulation of the body temperature by secreting sweat, and sweat contains water, sodium chloride, urea, lactic acid, etc. Control of eccrine gland. Eccrine glands are under nervous control and are supplied by sympathetic postganglionic cholinergic nerve fibers, which secrete the acetylcholine. Stimulation of this nerve causes secretion of sweat. Now, apocrine glands. Apocrine glands are situated only in certain areas of the body like axilla, pubis, areola, and umbilicus. Now, structure apocrine glands are also tubular coiled glands. This coiled portion lies deep dermis, but the duct opens into the hair follicle above the opening of the sebaceous gland. Now, secretory activity of the apocrine glands. Apocrine glands are non-functional till puberty and start functioning only at the time of puberty. In old age, the function of these glands gradually declines. The secretion of the apocrine glands is thick and milky. At the time of secretion, it is odorless. When microorganisms grow in the secretion, a characteristic odor develops in that region where apocrine glands are present. Secretion increases only in emotional conditions. Apocrine glands do not play any role in temperature regulation like eccrine glands. Now we will see the differences between the eccrine and apocrine sweat glands. Eccrine glands are distributed throughout the body, but apocrine glands are present only in limited areas like axilla, pubis, areola, and umbilicus, opening exterior through sweat pore, and the apocrine glands into the hair follicle. The period of function throughout the life, eccrine gland, and start functioning only at the puberty, it is apocrine glands. Secretion are clear and watery in case of eccrine, and thick and milky in case of apocrine. Play a major role in temperature regulation is eccrine and do not play any role in temperature regulation apocrine. Now, condition when secretion increases. During increased temperature and emotional condition, it is eccrine, and only during emotional condition, it is apocrine. Control of the secretory activity, it is under nervous control, the eccrine, and under hormonal control, it is apocrine. Nerve supply, in case of eccrine, it is sympathetic cholinergic fibers, and apocrine is under sympathetic adrenergic fiber. Now, control of the apocrine glands. Apocrine glands are innervated by sympathetic adrenergic nerve fibers, but the secretory activity is not under nervous control. However, adrenaline from the adrenal medulla causes secretion of apocrine glands. Glands of the eyelids, glands of external auditory meatus, and mammary gland are the modified apocrine glands. Now, pheromones. Pheromones are a group of chemical substances that are secreted by apocrine glands. Some scientists call this substance as vomer of offerins, which when secreted into the environment by an organism. Pheromones produce some behavioral or physiological changes in other members of the same species. Pheromones are mostly present in urine, vaginal fluid, and other secretion of the mammals and influence the behavior and reproductive cycle in these animals. Details of pheromones in lower animals are well documented. However, human pheromones are not fully studied. Recently, it is found that the pheromones excreted by in axilla of a woman affects the menstrual cycle of her roommate or other woman living with her. These substances stimulate receptors of vomeronasal receptors. Vomeronasal receptors are distinct from the other olfactory receptors and detect especially the odor of pheromones. Impulses from these receptors are transmitted by hypothalamus to the hypothalamus, which influence the menstrual cycle via pituitary gonadal axis. Now, this effect of pheromones on the menstrual cycle of other individuals are called dormitory effect. And for more details, we can see the chapter of vomeronasal organ and its receptor. So what is dormitory effect? The influence of menstrual cycle via pituitary gland axis and the pheromones on the menstrual cycle effect is known as dormitory effect. So this is for now. Thank you for watching.